She laughed and said, "You're ruining the fun." Not yelled, not angry, just amused, like I was a buzzkill at my own relationship. That was the moment something inside me went quiet. We were at Leo's apartment, one of those places with dim lights and loud music that makes every conversation feel like a secret. Everyone had a drink. Some people I knew, some I didn't. She was sitting on the arm of the couch, legs crossed, phone glowing in her hand every few minutes. Each time it buzzed, she smiled, not at me, at the screen. I leaned in and asked softly, "Who keeps texting you?" She didn't even look up. Relax. That word, relax. It had been showing up a lot lately. We'd been together 3 years. Long enough to recognize patterns. Long enough to know when girls' night turned into don't wait up. Long enough to notice how she'd started keeping her phone face down. How she'd take calls on the balcony. How she'd suddenly accuse me of being distant. That night, I wasn't loud. I wasn't dramatic. I just told her I felt uncomfortable. That I felt invisible. That something felt off. That's when she laughed. "You're ruining the fun," she said again, louder this time, like she wanted the room to hear. A couple people smirked. Someone turned the music up. My chest burned. Not anger. Embarrassment. I grabbed my jacket. She rolled her eyes. Didn't stop me. Outside, the night air hit different. Cold, sharp, honest. My phone stayed silent the entire walk home. "No, are you okay?" "No, come back." Just the echo of her laugh replaying in my head. At 2:11 a.m., I checked our last messages. "Me, let me know when you're home." "Her, thumbs up." I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, listening to every car pass, wondering why my gut felt like it was bracing for impact. By morning, my phone was still quiet. But something told me that silence wasn't going to last. MY phone exploded at 8:43 a.m. Missed calls stacked on the screen like panic. 10, 20. By the time I sat up, there were already 32. Her name, over and over. Then texts started pouring in. "Call me, please. It's not what you think. Why aren't you answering?" That last one almost made me laugh. I didn't respond. I showered, made coffee, let the kettle scream while my phone kept vibrating itself across the counter. At 9:17, a message came through that didn't belong to me. It was from an unknown number. "Hey, man, I don't know how to say this, but you deserve to know. Last night wasn't just a party." My hands went cold. Another message followed. A photo this time. Blurry. Dim light. But clear enough. Her jacket. The one I bought her last winter. Tossed over the back of a chair in a bedroom I didn't recognize. And there, reflected in a mirror, her silhouette. Too close to someone else. I sat down on the kitchen floor. Everything clicked at once. The late nights. The sudden gym obsession. The way she'd flinch when I touched her phone. The new password she forgot to share. I finally answered her call. She was crying before I said a word. Real tears. Shaky breaths. The kind that used to break me. "I messed up," she said. "I was drunk." It didn't mean anything. Didn't mean anything. 3 years. Reduced to a sentence people use when they're cornered. I asked one question. Just one. "How many times?" Silence. That told me everything. She started talking fast after that. Blaming the night. The attention. Saying she felt lonely even when I was right there. Saying I'd been emotionally unavailable. I realized something then. She wasn't confessing. She was negotiating. "I'm coming over," she said suddenly. "Please, just let me explain in person." I looked at the door, at the lock, at the quiet apartment that suddenly felt too small. And before I could answer, I heard a knock. The knock wasn't soft. It was desperate, like she was afraid I might disappear as she paused for breath. When I opened the door, her eyes were swollen. Mascara streaked down her cheeks. She smelled like the same perfume she wore the night we met. Sweet, familiar, almost cruel in how it tried to pull me backward. "I called you 47 times, she whispered. "I know," I said. She stepped inside and started talking immediately. No pauses. No space for me to speak. She said she panicked when she woke up alone. Said she realized she loved me when I didn't answer. Said she felt stupid, empty, used. I listened, not because I believed her, but because I needed to hear how far she'd go to save herself. Finally, I held up my phone and showed her the photo. She stopped mid-sentence. Her shoulders dropped. The act collapsed. "That was one time," she said. "Just one mistake." I shook my head. "You laughed at me before it happened. That landed harder than any insult." She stared at the floor. I told her how I stood outside that apartment feeling small, how I went home alone while she stayed, how respect doesn't vanish in a single night. It erodes every time someone chooses attention over honesty. She reached for my hand. I stepped back. "I didn't walk out to punish you," I said. "I walked out because I finally saw the truth." She cried, asked if we could fix it. Promised therapy. Promised transparency. Promised things she'd never needed to promise before. But something had shifted. Trust doesn't shatter loudly. It goes quiet, just like I did when she laughed. I handed her spare key. She looked at it like it weighed 1,000 pounds. When she left, the apartment felt hollow, but also clean, like a room after storm passes. Later that night, I checked my phone one last time. No new calls, no new messages, just stillness. And for the first time in a long time, that felt like peace. If this story hit close to home, drop your thoughts in the comments. Someone out there might need your words. And don't forget to subscribe for more real stories like this.